What is up there, guys, and welcome back to the channel as always. So we all know 2018 is on its last few months of this year, which also means that 2019 is not too far from us. And also people's very favorite time of the year also is coming up around the corner, which we all know is tax season. And everybody anticipates this time of the year because you get a little bit of cash back from your year of hard work. Or you could be owing taxes, so it might not be your favorite time either. But I would also like to point out that in a recent study that I read upon it showed on there that there is at least $1.2 trillion worth of tax deduction money. Yet taxpayers who claimed any type of deductions only accounted for $747 billion. Guys, that means there's still billions of dollars that haven't been claimed yet. And for those of you who are too lazy to probably even go further deep into writing off or deducting certain things off from your taxes to get a little bit more of your money, you simply just take the easy way out, do it the quick way, and you sit there happily with the money you get. Now, while someone was maybe getting a decent return or whatever, you also want to make sure you get the most out of your money, because I mean, you don't want to just let the whole year of hard work go to waste and let the government enjoy that money for you. You want to make sure that you get what you're owed back also. So in today's video, I'm briefly going to discuss on top 10 different types of write-offs / deductions that you didn't know you could write off or deduct from your taxes. Now, certain people may qualify for some of these deductions, some may not, but I hope maybe you see some that you probably didn't know you were eligible for or could be eligible for. And I hope you take the time to maybe start writing some of these things off next year so that you get the most out of your money. So without further ado, guys, let's begin. Number 1, reinvested dividends. Now, when it comes to certain mutual funds and whatnot, most dividends automatically reinvest to buy back more shares. And each reinvestment also increases your tax basis in the stock or mutual fund that you had it in. So this in return reduces the amount of taxable capital gain or increase the tax saving loss when you decide to actually sell your shares. So by forgetting something really simple as this, it can result in you overpaying for your taxes. So be sure you take into account some of these reinvested dividends when you go and file your taxes, okay, guys? Now, number 2, and this one is really nice for those of you who are really charitable and, you know, give back to your community or whoever. And this one will be out-of-pocket charitable contributions. So let's say you decide to go serve at a soup kitchen or make some cookies or something for a charitable event. Well, if you actually keep tabs on the ingredients and stuff that you use to make that food or whatever, you can actually write that off on your taxes. And another nice thing is, if you use your car to drive to a charity event or whatever it may be, you can write off up to 14 cents per mile on your taxes as well. And there's a few more details that you could probably write off, but I'm just gonna go over a brief little summary on each topic. So if you really wanna make the most out of it, be sure to look further deep into Google or wherever and see what else can qualify for more write-offs. Now, number 3, and this one's really neat, especially for those of you who have been to the dentist, maybe in the hospital for the past few months or so. And this one's going to be medical / dental expenses. Now, from the years 2017 to 2018, taxpayers could deduct medical expenses that exceeded 7.5% of their adjusted gross income. And also, in addition to that, the IRS also allows people to deduct mileage or other travel expenses associated with medical visits. So if you had to drive to a hospital, maybe in New York or something, for a certain medical surgery or whatnot, then you could essentially probably write that off also on your taxes. But sadly, for the year of 2019, the threshold will increase and only expenses that exceed 10% will qualify this write-off. So technically, you have to waste a little more in medical / dental expenses to qualify for this next year. But I mean, if you had a major surgery or something, you could definitely check this out. Just be sure to do your proper research on this one, okay, guys? Now, number 4, and this is really neat for those of you working at a job right now, is unreimbursed employee expenses. And this can range from a uniform that you need for that job that can be deducted from your taxes to as much as maybe walking out to the store just because you ran out of coffee at your local office or whatever. So again, guys, just be sure to do your research on these type of things and really dig down deep to see what all you can deduct. I'm just listing the basics of what you could list, and I'm hoping some of you take the time to actually really do some more deep research as far as what you can deduct off your taxes for next year to make the most. Now, number 5. This one's really good for those of you who have kids, would also be childcare. Now, for parents who work, you may be able to qualify for a child independent care of a child. Take for example, maybe you decide to send your kid to a day camp or something. You can basically claim that as a qualified expense. Even hiring a babysitter would be also considered as an expense also, but you must make sure you have proper documentations and whatnot to be able to qualify for this, okay, guys? But now moving on to number 6, American Opportunity Credits. And this is more for those of you who decide to actually go to college and are going to college right now at the time. This is only going to apply to those of you who actually have been 4 years of college, okay? Now, the maximum allowed credit for this will be up to $2,500, with 100% for the first $2,000 that will be eligible for college expenses, and 25% on the next $2,000. Now, the entire $2,500 credit is available to those whose modified adjusted gross income is less than $80,000 for singles and $160,000 for couples. So be sure to do your research on that also, okay guys? Now, number 7. Now, for those of you who are more into gambling instead of actually picking some stocks or whatnot, you can also write off your gambling losses. You can basically deduct up to the amount of gambling income you actually reported. And basically you can claim your losses as an other miscellaneous deduction. But you also got to be prepared to show proof of this, okay? So make sure you have the proper documentations to actually prove this, guys. You can't just go in there saying that you lost $10,000 or something, okay? Now, number 8, tuition. You can deduct up to $4,000 in qualifying higher education tuition and fees that you paid yourself or your spouse or a dependent. So if you're sending your kid maybe to get some tuition help or something, you can basically write that off also. Now, number 9, senior tax deductions. And this is basically, again, hence the term senior, just going to be for seniors. But basically it just means that if you or your spouse turn 65 or older by the end of the year, you're basically eligible for a higher standard deduction. So there's one positive side to being older, I guess, guys. Now the last one, number 10, student loan interest paid by your parents. So basically what this means is that if your parents decide to pay back your loans for you, basically the IRS treats the transaction as if the money was given to you and that you use that money to pay off your debt, okay? Now this is only going to work as long as you're not claimed as a dependent by anybody. So if you're filing your own tax, this is the only way that it's going to work, okay guys? Now you can only deduct up to $2,500 of student loan interest paid by your parents each year, okay? So that's one fascinating thing some of you probably didn't even know. So I hope you really paid attention on that part also. But yes guys, these are top 10 things I really think most people do not know that they can deduct or write off on their taxes. So again, take into consideration some of these tips, okay guys? Maybe you're eligible for some of them, maybe you aren't, but regardless, I'm pretty sure you learned 1 or 2 things that you probably didn't know. And I really highly suggest, again guys, for you to go out there, see what more you can write off, and just get the most out of your money, guys, okay? Again, you worked hard for your money this whole year. Why not get something back in return for your hard work, okay? So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I really hope you took these tips into consideration. And as always guys, if you like this video, be sure to give it a like. And leave me down a comment down below if you need any help on any of these tips or whatnot. Maybe you know something that we don't. Leave it down there also guys. Let others know what more you can write off. And as always, if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down there as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.